everyone, and welcome to Fall DynamicsCon 2021. SPS is thrilled to support and sponsor this DynamicsCon community. I'm Judy Weston, been at SPS Commerce for 16 years, and I work with our customers and partners who run Microsoft Dynamics Great Plains, or GP. Here with my friend and cohort, Brian Lynch. Brian, tell us about yourself.
Perfect. Well, welcome everyone. So again, my name is Brian Lynch, and I'm a senior product specialist helping our team design integrated EDI solutions for our Dynamics community. I've been working with Great Plains going back all the way to 1997 in various roles from technical support to mapping. And so really excited to spend a little bit of time with you here today.
Brian, did you start in Great Plains when you were like 16 years old?
I was a little younger than that, but yeah.
Well, welcome everybody. And today we're going to talk about how automating EDI with Great Plains can help your business grow. And first, we're going to talk about our favorite topic in the last 8 months. For those of you who haven't heard, on December 17th of 2020, SPS Commerce acquired Data Masons after a decade-long partnership together. We are now known collectively as the Microsoft Market Team. We are over 180 strong, supporting over 1,000 customers and 50 automated documents. Brian, you want to say a few words about how this acquisition made you feel?
You know what, I've been joking kind of, we've been dating for 10 years. Not a lot of people know that Data Masons had partnered with SPS for over 10 years. Judy and I know each other for many years, seeing, at the, Convergence and Summit and all of the great events. So to see, the power of the Data Masons integration and that team's specialty, partnered with, really the largest retail EDI network, I think as the group will see later on, kind of a true marriage here. So super excited, and it's been great over the last 8 months. So.
I couldn't agree more. Welcome to the family. It's nice to all be together. So let's go through a quick agenda. We're going to talk about some of the challenges in order fulfillment. Then we're going to talk about that full service model that Brian alluded to just a minute ago. And then Brian's going to take us on a demonstration of the product. We're going to talk about what support looks like under the SPS model, and then give you some contact information in case you have questions or want to learn more. If that sounds like what you signed up for, then let's get started. In talking with companies that run GP, we really find that they fall into one of these 4 categories. New to EDI, meaning maybe you've just gotten your first, landed your first deal with Target, and they're requiring EDI, and you're just kind of dipping your toe into the pool of EDI and what the requirements are for Target, and you get those requirements up and running. And then of course, as your business grows and you add other trading partners, like maybe Amazon or Wayfair, those requirements are different. So starting to having to manage different EDI order management models and different document types. Then perhaps you move along to, well, we're growing as a business. We have our own warehouse. Maybe we want to outsource to a third-party warehouse, but how do we get connected via EDI with that warehouse? And then finally, a lot of GP customers now are maybe starting to evaluate the move to a new system, whether that be Business Central or another system. So hopefully you see yourself in one of these buckets, and we're going to cover EDI solutions for all of those. What we found in our last 20 years of being in the EDI game, no matter how you do EDI, there are really 7 core pillars that have to get done. The first is technology. You have to have that technology in place so that orders can be automated into Great Plains. And with that acquisition of Data Masons, we check that box times 1,000. Trading partner expertise. So you need to know what documents are required, what order fulfillment models are required per trading partner. And because SPS has been building the largest trading partner network, we have entire departments of hundreds of people that manage those on our customers' behalf. So system and configuration, we need to make sure that we're keeping in mind that Target might send over an order, but maybe that's not exactly what that order needs to look like to populate into a sales order from GP. So we need to make sure that we're keeping those types of changes in mind, and so we can support that. Trading partner connectivity, whether it's VAN, AS2, FTP, API, SPS Commerce does that on all of our customers' behalf. Then the fun part, the testing and launch. So knowing what those trading partner requirements are, shepherding you through the process of testing, contacting the trading partner on your behalf. SPS Commerce does that in a full service model for all of our customers. Ongoing external support. Of course, we follow the sun. Our support is available 24/7 by 365. And you'll be routed to a team on the Microsoft Market team that supports our GP customers. And last but certainly not least, the proactive monitoring and analysis. So that means monitoring your transactions to make sure that those transactions are being processed correctly, but also analyzing trends, looking at your data, seeing what trends SPS can find, can automate for you, to identify for you to help you optimize the EDI solution. And what we found in the market, talking with way too many GP customers who maybe bought another EDI provider's product, that sometimes they are just lacking in services. They may give you a piece of technology, a piece of software, help with a little bit of that design and configuration. But really, there are those 4 pillars that aren't listed here. Those gaps need to be filled by either somebody at your company, or you're reliant on a partner to handle those gaps.
Hey, Judy,
and what we find in those scenarios,
Yeah, just real quick on that last slide. I definitely, from my experience, again, you can definitely get the technology, but I think one of the things that, SPS does a really great job of is the people. And it's one of those areas that I often hear where it's, the EDI provider, is not able to really understand dynamics, the partner onboarding, new business partner takes months because, again, they don't have all the expertise that comes to the table with a fully integrated solution. So it's definitely one of the things that you want to think about, not only the technology, but again, those other 6 critical areas, for a full solution.
Absolutely, Brian. And I think that's a great segue into this, because when you buy those types of solutions and you find that you need an EDI coordinator to support that, oftentimes that means somebody whose primary job is not EDI is kind of learning that solution on the fly. And as Brian said, that can lead to slow onboarding, chargebacks, and then, poor report cards with your trading partner. And in some cases, if you're not able to do EDI, they'll go look for another company that can. So just a little bit about SPS. Over the last 2 decades, we've been building the largest trading partner network. So let's rewind to 20 years ago. SPS reached out to Walmart to set up our first connection. And really, we looked at that from a strategic perspective. So let's figure out how to connect to Walmart in the way that they want to connect. Let's gather those specifications. Let's build out those maps and get our customer set up. And what we actually did was decided that we were not going to build out those connections and those maps for every one of our customers. We were just going to use that same connectivity and those same maps for all of our customers that do business with Walmart. So as of right now, we're supporting over 2,000 customers that are receiving their orders from Walmart through SPS Commerce on those same maps. Fast forward to today, we're now at over 3,000 buying organizations, which equal over 80,000 pre-mapped connections. Through conversations with our customers, we've expanded into the third-party warehouse arena, where we support over 1,000 third-party warehouses, 400 system relationships, and then you can see that we have some security certifications that we require for our customers. And today we're talking about order data, or EDI, that's in that blue box in the middle, but wanted to expand on some of the other solutions that SPS Commerce supports. And we heard these because of speaking with our customers. So what's super important on everybody's mind right now is item data. We know that you need to get correct item data to your buying organization before you can even get an order. So unfortunately, Walmart and Amazon and Wayfair don't get into a room and have a standardized format for you to send that item data. They all have different requirements, different attributes that are required. And SPS has a solution called Assortment where we're able to standardize that and set in a central repository so that you can send that information. We'll send it on your behalf to the Walmarts and Amazons and Wayfairs of the world. On the right-hand side, another really hot topic right now is sales data. So that's sell-through data. So you're knowing what's been sold at Walmart, what their inventory levels are, so that they can, so that you can make actionable insights. SPS consolidates that and puts it into something so that our customers can use that data, see that data in real time, and avoid stockouts. Make sure that if they're getting low on inventory, that they have the data and can go to the buyer and suggest an order. And certainly last but not least, the supplier onboarding. So not only can SPS Commerce support our GP customers in getting EDI orders, if you have vendors that you would like to send orders to electronically, we have a community team that will help with that process and actually reach out to your vendors, educate them on the program, give them EDI options, and help them become EDI compliant with you. Brian, anything to add to that?
Yeah, I'm from a community onboarding standpoint, if you think about it, especially if you've got maybe hundreds of suppliers, yes, you can send an email out, but, having the resources to physically call these suppliers, some of those suppliers may have technology and you just want to certify that they're meeting your requirements. Others that, do not have technology and thus, need options, maybe they're larger and need a system automation. SPS's ability to integrate with over 400 different order management systems puts SPS in a really unique spot to be a true one-stop shop for all of those community onboarding programs. And in organizations that maybe are smaller that just need kind of an easy access portal solution. As I think we'll talk about later on, again, options that SPS has.
Yeah, and to add to that, Brian, when you mentioned having the resources to reach out to those vendors to educate them on the solution, I heard a stat the other day that it takes on average 12 points of contact for vendors to make a decision on how to do EDI. So, something not to be, something to think about. So I'm going to turn it over to Brian to kind of talk about at high level the SPS Commerce approach and then go into the demonstration. Brian, take it away.
Yeah. Well, Judy, this slide kind of reminds me when I first joined the community in '97, because this unfortunately was the best practice at the time. I would, hey, I need to go do that Walmart map. I'd either start from scratch or I would go copy one that I've done before. And I literally would build it specific to that partner and I would copy it. And that works fine, the first time, but now all of a sudden we add Amazon and we add Target. And oh, by the way, we've got purchase orders and invoices. And it's not too long before you literally have hundreds of maps. And I could just remember scratching my head sometimes trying to support this spaghetti that had been kind of created. And on top of that, you've got the complexity of how did I configure, GP? Because, we've got user-defined fields and we've got, just unique processes, per business, per item. Now, on top of that, each of these partners communicated a little bit different. Some used VAN, and by the way, there's many VANs out there. Some used AS2, some used FTP. And the reality of, kind of this point-to-point, even managed solution is it required a lot of IT, infrastructure to be able to really build it and more importantly, maintain it. And let alone, when GP, had version changes. So as you're going to see on the next slide, SPS comes to market with just a better way of doing it. And that's really one of the things that I was personally excited about, getting to see firsthand the approach. I was really impressed with the fact that, the Walmart map is literally used by thousands of suppliers. not only do you get that best practice of reuse, think about it not only from a supplier viewpoint, but really from the retailer standpoint. You know, when they can come to a partner like SPS and they know that, hey, that organization is representing, you know, in that case, over 50% of the suppliers, you know, that's a strategic partnership. And so, you know, a lot of times these large retailers, you know, will have direct access to the SPS leadership. We get advance notice of, you know, any changes and have that rolled out to our community base. But as you can see from this slide, you know, we don't have that spaghetti mess. You know, these are maps tried and true. We add new business partners, you know, over time. We keep up with all of the version changes, and, you know, having those pre-mapped rules, all those standardization of data, you know, I don't have to worry about communications. The SPS network has the security that's needed in today's environment, has all of the communication protocols, and not only does it help us with EDI formats, but helps with APIs and XML and all of the different ways that our trading community may need to work with us. And on the integration level with Dynamics and frankly other, you know, ERP and Dynamics systems, it's a much more simplified approach. We now have a standard message type per business document. So one notion of an inbound sales order, one notion of an outbound invoice. This really allows for quicker partner onboarding, a much simplified design, you know, for support and ongoing maintenance. So it really is a best practice that I'm super excited to be able to show you here a little bit. So if we go ahead and go on, I think we're going to go ahead and jump into the live product here. And so with that, let me go ahead and start to share my screen. And so we should now be seeing Dynamics GP. And with the system, to set this up a little bit, you know, with SPS system automation, you know, we're checking orders, say, every 5 minutes. We're sending invoices out, you know, once an hour. That frequency is definable by you. And as we go through the process, the system is going to check for things like valid items and addresses, you know, all of the things that we would have normally had to do if we would have had to key in this, this process. Now, today, I'm going to focus in on the automation of our customers. The reality is we help Dynamics users with third-party warehouses, with their vendors, suppliers, with carriers, with e-market, you know, e-commerce and marketplaces. There's a lot of different areas that, again, an SPS customer, you know, uses our solution for. Now, in this particular case, we've created a sales order. Again, EDI automation has went through all of the validations to make sure this was a correct process. And from that viewpoint, I would go in and do my normal GP process. Now, I do want to just kind of peek under the covers a little bit, and I want to highlight a few things. One, how does SPS know that, you know, Target is an EDI business partner? What business processes like POs and PO acknowledgements do they do? And I'll take your attention down to the bottom here where there's this EDI button where we're going to tell Great Plains all of those instructions. Now, SPS comes to market with a fixed fee implementation, takes care of all of that for you. But again, we do have the EDI functionality right inside of Dynamics itself. Now, as an end user, one of my favorite features is what we call Transaction Lifecycle Explorer. Now, in this particular case, we received in an inbound purchase order. We generated an outbound purchase order acknowledgement. Now, in my situation, I do use that third-party warehouse to send out electronic picking tickets. And my customer requires advanced ship notices as well as GS1 128 labeling, all of which SPS supports. But I, as an end user, have full visibility to that information with the click of a button. So it really empowers our end users to better service our customers And as we're starting to see trends that's been going on and expanding around omni-channel, drop ship orders, ship to DC, ship to store, all of these scenarios, I need an EDI provider that's going to be able to handle those situations for me. Now, as you can imagine, it's not uncommon that we maybe had thousands of sales orders flowing back and forth in an automated fashion. And so with that, we also have an administration console where we can manage our exceptions, see critical KPIs such as I'm seeing here. Now, all of us users, Brian likes this one over there. I only want to see this one if it's a certain partner. I want to see a bar chart. We have all of those details that we can get access to. Now, these KPIs are also actionable. So in this case, transactions on hold, you'll see that they're color coded. We get statuses as where they are in relation to Dynamics. The SPS system automation really is a natural staging table to validate all of the processes that we want to have happen. Now, again, we do have various setups of, which of our business partners are EDI enabled, my part number to your part number, my addresses, etc. But one of the other big features is what we call our scheduler or workflow. This is really the intelligence, the automation that allows me to gain efficiency from EDI. It's not just about business partner compliance, it's how can I do more with less? In today's environment, labor shortage is a factor. And so if I can go in and tell the system, hey, we're going to automate invoice processing, and by the way, that's going to happen every 5 minutes. And if there's an exception, that email notification is going to go out to Judy. And by the way, if it's Target, we're going to do maybe a different process. I can just simply drag those into the configuration, giving me a very powerful, very adaptable process that again allows me a high level efficiency without adding labor. So that's a little bit of a preview of the Dynamics GP system automation from SPS. So with that, I will turn it back over to Judy.
Thanks, Brian. Can you validate that you're seeing the right screen? Okay, yes. Perfect. So I know we're going to talk a little bit about project risk as you move from a lot of our customers that are running GP are looking at a new ERP, maybe going to the cloud with Business Central. The ways in which SPS can really help mitigate that risk is making sure that our customers are being supported during this time. And ways that we do that are by using a solution called our fulfillment solution, which really complements the automated solution that Brian was just talking about. This is always running in the background, automated documents into GP, but they're being copied onto the fulfillment solution. Also, a lot of our customers use this for disaster recovery for low volume customers, or maybe if they're just starting to do business with a customer and they don't know that relationship will be permanent. And then also there are certain documents that it just doesn't make sense to automate within GP. And so they can live on this fulfillment solution in a human readable format. A couple of things that you can expect from SPS during the implementation process to mitigate risk during an ERP change is that our SPS is with you every step of the way. You can expect that you will get a project manager, business analyst, and a consultant, and they're going to take the lead on the project. We're going to make sure that we are contacting your trading partners to set up that testing process and shepherding you through that process. When we're ready to go live, we proactively monitor your data. And then when everyone decides that the EDI environment is stable, then our support team also continues to proactively monitor your data. It should be noted that in a lot of other providers, they really take you about halfway through step one. And just to give you an idea on what to expect from a support perspective, we kind of talked about that already with SPS and you, that we're 24/7/365. I want to talk a little bit about what you can expect from SPS with your trading partners. You know, as Brian mentioned, when we have over thousands of customers that are doing business with Walmart, that is a strategic relationship for us. And so when SPS calls Walmart to pick up to contact them on your behalf, they will pick up the phone because they know that we represent thousands of their customers. So we have those personal relationships with the buying organizations that are in the network. And then last but not least, training and education. We don't just train you during the implementation. We know that resources change. So we offer ongoing training, whether that's, you know, in person, via chat, through a webinar. We support our customers' training ongoing. What you can expect from us is that we're going to be the easiest to use solution. We understand the unique requirements of your instance of GP and take those into account. And then you can always expect us to be with our finger on the pulse of the market and making sure that we continue to offer solutions that are valuable to our customers. And kind of last but not least, this is my favorite statistic. Okay, so last year, 780 companies chose to move to SPS Commerce from a competitor. And the statistic that I'm most proud of is that our retention rate is 86%. So those customers who move from a competitor, 86% of them stay with SPS Commerce. So that's something that we're always striving to improve, but we are the retention leader in the market. And Brian, I think we made it through without a dog barking, a baby crying, or talking while we were on mute.
I know, it's always good to try to do these things virtually. You know, obviously we'd love to be in person, but hopefully everyone found this valuable. We appreciate obviously the shorter format, that there may be questions. So as you can see, Judy's information's here. We'd love to have a conversation with you, see what SPS can offer. And again, really assist you as you kind of think about your goals related to EDI.
Yes, I echo what Brian said. We're looking forward to the in-person coming soon. So thank you all for attending this session, and thank you to DynamicsCon.